Here's a great story that happened yesterday. Did you ever have a book beckoning that you should open it up? I usually don't have that, but yesterday I did. It's a little sefer over here. It's called Lakutei Halachis, a Breslov sefer. I haven't learned much from Breslov Chassidus. A few weeks ago, someone called me and he said that they're organizing their house and they have svarim they don't use if I want anything. And I asked him what there is, and he said there is a set of Lakutei Halachis for Reb Nassan of Breslov. It was always a sefer that intrigued me. So I said, yeah, you can, I'll take it. So he delivered it. And I haven't looked at it for like 3-4 weeks. It's sitting over here, right behind me. And yesterday I filmed the video and the talk that I gave in yesterday's video was an inspiration. So many of these videos are not necessarily something that I see in a sefer, but just inspiration that comes to my mind based on different things that I've learned or I'm learning and so on and so forth. Yesterday I was talking about the year Pei Aleph that's coming our way, and that it means Plo Yisarenu, and I was making a connection between the Plo Yisarenu and Plo Yisarenu. That the year Nun Aleph and the year Pei Aleph are sister years, and I mentioned that it's minus the Nun, that the Nun has a negative element to it, and now we have the Pei, and the Pei fixes the Nun, because the Pei is Peseach Es Yodecha, opening the Yud. When the Nun falls, when Malchus falls, it turns into a Yud. So Peseach Es Yodecha is opening the Yud. That was a thought that occurred to me, and right after I said it, I was thinking to myself, I don't know, I'm making it up. The concept Peseach Es Yodecha says in Chassidus and so on and so forth. The idea that when Malchus falls, it turns into a Yud. I just learned in a different Maimer of the Alter Rebbe. But the whole putting it together and whether it's valid or real was a little daunting. Immediately, so yesterday in the morning, before I even gave this video, I had this strange urge that I have to open up the Sefer Lakutei Halachis and learn something from this set of Svarim. As soon as I finished making the video, I actually went and picked up the Sefer and I said, let me read something for Rosh Hashanah, especially since I know that in Breslov, Rosh Hashanah is very, very high. Chabad Rosh Hashanah is very high. Anybody that's involved in Pnimius and Yanim knows that Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Hashanah, it's the deepest. So I opened up Lakutei Halachas to Rosh Hashanah, and I learned a piece, a Torah, and I almost fell off the chair. He opens up talking about how Rosh Hashanah is all about sweetening the af. Now, if you look in the Rebbe's Ha'ara about Pei Aleph, where the Rebbe talks about the year Pei Aleph, the Rebbe says it's all about, there's an af, which represents anger and wrath, and the af needs to be sweetened, and it is sweetened. Pei Aleph is the flipping over of the af, and that's related to Mashiach. So this piece that I open up to is literally says that Rosh Hashanah is a time of Dina Kashya. It's hard, harsh dinim, which is called af, and we need to sweeten the af. And through the tkiyas, we sweeten the af. And what happens, that produces Ruchai Shal Mashiach, the spirit of Mashiach. And he says it's connected to the beginning of creation. Va'aretz ha'isa toyu v'avayu. Toyu v'avayu is this wrath, is this anger. And then Ruach Elokim Merachefes, ze Ruchai Shal Mashiach. That the spirit of Mashiach comes out from the af. And then he goes on and explains how, through Tkiyah Shofar, what are we doing? The Tkiyah Shofar is Paiseach Es Yodecha. It opens up the Yudin. The Yud is it says the Tkiyah, that represents the Yud, that's locked, that's closed. He associates it with the two Yudin, the Yud of Yud Kei Vav Kei, and the Yud of Adna, two Yudin, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, are two Yudin. And these two Yudin, Paiseach Es Yodecha, you have to open up, simply Yodecha means your two hands. Over here it means the two Yudin have to open up. And when you open that up, you have a Gilui of Malchus of the Eibishter. And the Eibishter's Malchus, he says, will only find expression through Melech HaMashiach, who will be the ultimate expressor and the actualizer of the Eibishter's Malchus. And his last words over here, very, very powerful, is Sheyesh Charoin Af, there is a anger, V'nimtak, it becomes sweetened, V'nasa Ruchai Shal Mashiach, it becomes the spirit of Mashiach, V'achakach ba b'toich b'chinas yadayim, then it comes into the hands, Imoitziyah mikoyach al apoyel, you have to actualize it. And V'zeh v'aretz ha'sasayu v'vayu, this is the Charoin Af, and Ruach Elokim Merachefes. It was just unbelievable literally what I was speaking about danced right out at me, and it was beckoning that I should read it as a Torah from Reb Nosson of Breslov, and it seems like indicating exactly what the Rebbe is talking about in Shnas Plo'os Arenu.